All right, so I'm going to do a quick little intro just to go over the basics of what you have here for your irrigation system. And hopefully you're lucky and you have an underground isolation valve. And if you don't, I'll show you two ways how to isolate this with and without the underground isolation valve. So first of all, the flow of the water pressure is going to come up on the bottom of your backflow preventer and then out to the side to your irrigation system. So the water in is from the bottom of the backflow preventer there. That's also known as a bell valve or whatever, as some other FEBCOs, people call them different names, but the purpose of the backflow preventer is just if for any reason the supply pressure from the city drops and the supply pressure from the system exceeds that pressure, it just prevents the dirty water from going backwards through your piping into your house, right? So that's the only purpose of that backflow preventer. Unfortunately, they make them all out of brass and copper and stuff, so heat transfers really quickly on those and they get cold and they ice pretty quickly. So all right, so the preferred method to isolate these is obviously with your underground isolation valve. So mine's luckily close by. I'll go down there, and that's just a quarter turn valve. If it's aligned with the pipe, it's open. Quarter turn it to the right. Now it's closed. So I am also lucky enough to have a supply line drain valve on the bottom here, just to drain any water that might be stuck in this line up here. All right, so as you can see, these are still open and open. And these two are closed. So this is your purge valves. This is the purge valve for the feed line. This is the purge valve for the outlet line. So real quickly, what I typically do is I open this, but I'll assume that you don't have that, and I'll just show you. So you could just go ahead and open your bottom feed line, and it's really no particular order. Just a quarter turn to the right with a flat tip screwdriver. It'll pop out like that. Same on this one. And you should hear a slight little pop on this valve after you open the top one, and that means it's sat down and it's closed internally. So I would suggest that you turn these valves just one time, open and close, just to get any buildup out of there, and then go ahead and put them in like a 45-degree angle, because the valve bodies on these valves are actually egg-shaped. They're not round. So the valves themselves will retain a little bit of water if you don't have a drain like I do. So I typically open that drain, and that drains any leftover water, especially on this feeder valve. So that's the way you do it if you have the underground isolation valve. If you don't have that, what you're going to want to do is completely, I'll just turn mine back to normal real quick. Okay, so what you want to do here is just on the feeder line on the inlet, close this valve all the way. And once that's closed, you're gonna just turn these two valves to align with the piping to be open and purge all that water out. So you should have most of the water out from here all the way through there. And then you can, if you want to, close this valve to the right. You don't have to, but you can. But I highly suggest that if you do not have the underground isolation valve and you only secure that bottom valve and open those two drain ports for the pressure, that you still come wrap your whole system here with towels, and then tape a plastic bag over that so the towels don't get wet if it does rain or anything, because then it's just going to be a freeze packet around the piping anyways. All right, hope that helped everybody. Thanks, and please share.